I'm sure many people have seen the improvements at Janet's Corner next to the airport over the year or so that's been going on, the big project here, replacing the houses. I'm with Phil, who's here to talk about two special houses, and we're in here. It's very echoey because it's obviously not being used yet, but it's called a passive house.
Yeah, we've built in the last phase of development a pair of low energy properties. The house is built to the passive house standard, and this is intended to achieve very low space heating usage within the properties, and this is done by means of the way in which the property is constructed and the way in which the services have been put into the property.
I think the main thing I've noticed, of course, there's no radiators in the rooms.
No, there aren't any. There isn't any form of traditional heating as we've had it, and that's the whole idea. The idea of passive house is to try and balance out the energy usage in the property by what energy is generated by people, by the appliances that are in the property, by the solar gain that we get in the property, and also to stop the house from leaking energy through the walls by increased insulation, with much thicker walls with a lot of thermal insulation built into them. We've also got high performance treble glazed windows and doors. And the other big secret, well, it's not really a secret, but the other big trick is the use of the whole house ventilation system, the MVHR, the mechanical ventilation and heat recovery system, which balances the quality of the air and the temperature.
This is the box of tricks under there,
which you'll see shortly on the stairs.
And upstairs, we've got these sort of space-age sort of vents, which is how it all works. You're moving the air around.
Yes, basically the air is introduced. The incoming air is tempered through the ventilation equipment, and then is distributed through the habitable rooms upstairs and extracted downstairs and through the bathroom, through the toilet and through the kitchen areas, so that there's the circulation of air throughout the property, which is constantly being tempered and balanced. And that means we're getting fresh air, so the quality of the air in this property should feel a lot better when people are living in it than a traditional home.
Well, upstairs, I mean, there's a towel rail. I think that's one of that, and a little boiler for some hot water. That's it.
That's basically it. We've got a small heated towel rail in the bathroom, which is really just to allow for some practicalities. It is also putting heat into the property. So when you've got people moving around, you've got the appliances running, you've got solar gain through the windows, and you've got the towel rail operating, then you are actually getting quite a considerable in total amount of energy being distributed in the property.
Okay, I mean, it's all interesting about being passive, but you didn't go for that extra leg to go and put solar panels on, getting the energy back that's out there for nothing.
We could do, and there are other examples in the British Isles probably where that's been done. But we've got a number of key principles that we're trying to adopt. One, we're trying to make this an affordable home, both in terms of the cost of development, because the cost of development of a passive house is probably about 20% or 25% more expensive than a traditional property because of all the special features. But also, we're trying to ensure that the energy costs are low for the tenants. And this is a pilot study. These are the first two properties of the type.
Just these two here?
On the island, yes. The first two certified passive houses on the island.
They look like most of the houses, but there are these subtle differences.
They are designed specifically so they look similar to the rest of the houses on the redevelopment. But the other issue is we've proven that solar panels do work, and we've done that through the other developments on the estate. With some of the larger properties have got solar panels, and they're proving their value. So in terms of this particular property, we're trying to keep it as simple as possible in terms of trying to prove that it works for affordable housing.
And the proof of the pudding will be when people get their bills in, I suppose.
Correct. We're also got a monitoring regime. We've got built into this property, we've got a system which is actually gathering data all the time on the energy usage and is transmitting it back to the DOI offices, so that we can, for the next 2 years, we can look at the energy usage and also talk to the tenants to see what their experience is and what their experience of their bills is, actually.
So this will be the sort of house of the future?
I think this is the way it's going. Maybe not specifically passive house, I don't know, but certainly high energy, high insulation value, low energy usage, and a well-sealed environment with good ventilation is the way forward. I'm certain of that. Hopefully without any of the fancy technological bits added.